Hi, it's Paris from Epic Reviews, and I just got in the results from my 23andMe $99 DNA test. And as the doctors like to say, there's good news and there's bad news.
Epic Review Guys.
It was November last year that I saw 23andMe was having a special for just $99. They would do a DNA test for you that would test about 1 million spots on your DNA and tell you whether you were more inclined to some medical conditions, less inclined to some. Would also let you see your ancestral DNA, your makeup of where your family came from and people you might be related to. Now, about the time I was filling my vial with spit to send back to them for the test, the FDA notified 23andMe, hey, no more of this, indicating to people whether they're inclined to get certain medical conditions unless you have very, very strong proof and you're absolutely certain you're not mistaken in giving them wrong information, because some people may go out and do something drastic. So I think I was one of the last people to get my spit in time to have the option of seeing my medical results. If you go and do the test now, they don't offer you that anymore. It's just the ancestral side that you can find out about. So at the time I ordered the test, I thought, yeah, information's good. I want to see if I'm inclined to something. Maybe I can change something in my lifestyle to improve that. Maybe there are a bunch of things I don't need to worry about coming down with in my lifetime. So sure, I agree, send me all the results, I'll participate in all the studies. Well, when I got to this first screen, I stopped. So Parkinson's disease indicator and the Alzheimer's disease indicator are locked, and you have to go and unlock them. At first I thought they were going to charge extra for it, but no, that's not it. It's because you really may not want to know the answer to this. And when I gave it a little thought, I realized I don't, because these diseases obviously really have such a major impact on your life. They can't be cured or really treated very well currently, and there's really nothing you can do to keep from getting them. So it's not like, well, it's a terrible disease and we can't cure it, but since you know you're inclined to get it, you know, make all these lifestyle changes and it may keep you from getting it, there's really nothing you can do about it at this point. So they're separate and they're locked, and I understand that, and though I thought I would want to see all my results, I've actually decided not to unlock that. Now the bad news first. We start here with elevated risk of having these conditions, and again we've got the stars for confidence. There are only 4 that they're very confident that they can accurately predict if you're more inclined to have these conditions. The ones down below with the fewer stars mean there's some data for that, but it's not yet a strong scientific correlation. And the one that really shocked me is the prostate cancer. Cancer doesn't run in my family. I don't know any males in my family that have had prostate cancer, yet they're telling me I have an 8% higher risk of prostate cancer, which it's not like it's double everybody else, but that makes it a 1 in 4 chance. So it's kind of worrisome. Okay, then they talk about genes versus environment, that it's about half of your likelihood seems to be genetic for prostate cancer and half of it is environmental, things that you're exposed to, perhaps your diet. They don't know all of that yet. But if we look further down, what can you do? So talk to your doctor about screening tests. You can be screened more aggressively to stay on top of that, your PSA test and the other things that they do to men to check on your prostate. And then further down, they give you some suggestions. Now there's nothing particular that's been shown to greatly reduce prostate cancer risk, but tomatoes have lycopene and various things. This may help. Make sure you have enough folate in your diet. Moderate your calcium intake. I should stay on top of being tested for this, and whatever advice they have to try to reduce the risk, I should follow that. Now, to be honest, when I first saw this, I really was shocked. And the very first thing that came into my mind, I had an Angelina Jolie moment, was, well, I don't need it anymore, just have it removed. Of course, there's all kinds of, considering its location, the nerves that pass through it, and so forth, there are a lot of side effects to the surgery. So it's definitely something I'll talk to my doctor about, but after getting over that first impression of, well, cut it out, I've decided, all right, I will just stay on top of monitoring it, see what steps I can take to reduce the risk. Back to my elevated risk list. Number 2 is type 1 diabetes. Now I thought that was something, if you were going to get it, you tended to get it when you were very young, because this is sort of frightening here. I'm at over 3 times the risk of the average population. If you just think diabetes and that's all you know, you would say, oh my gosh. But of course there's type 1, there's type 2, and type 1 I believe does, if you're going to get it, it will affect you more likely when you're young. But look at the age range here. for all ages from birth to 79. If I change that to my age range here, now instead of 3.5, it's 0.36 out of 100. So this one honestly is rather misleading, and I think this is the kind of thing that the FDA is saying, maybe it's better not to have this test with just a web page saying, hey, you've got 3.5 times the risk of diabetes. You should do this with a doctor, with a genetic counselor who can explain these things to you. Now, further down the list with fewer stars, these are other things I have an increased risk of, but there's not a lot of strong science to say I should be worrying about these things a great deal. Asthma, thyroid cancer, male infertility. Ha! I beat him on that one. Okay, there's those. All right, time for the good news. Decreased risk. And there are more of these with the strong confidence. First one is type 2 diabetes. My risk is 18%. The average risk is 25%. Now that's a good one because that does run in my family. And so that I have a lower risk of it is good. This isn't a get out of jail free card that means you can just go wild, you won't get it. It just means I have a lower likelihood than the average person of coming down with it. But that's actually very good news for me right there. Less chance of psoriasis, age-related macular degeneration, melanoma, restless leg syndrome, the particular type of arthritis, multiple sclerosis. It's very good not to have a likelihood of that. That's a scary one. Now, other things under health that you can check into, drug response, if you are particularly sensitive to a drug or you might have a bad reaction to a drug, that's a good one to know. Inherited conditions, traits. Now on the ancestral side, they'll tell you where your relatives likely came from. Of course, as you go further back, you have more and more relatives that may have come from unexpected places. This says that my DNA is 99.6% European, which makes sense. 47.4% British and Irish. I know my family came from England 100 years ago, so this is all fitting in real well. The surprise is the 0.1% East Asian and Native American. It's a very small, it's 1/10 of 1%, but if that's a strand of DNA that couldn't have come from a European, I'm real curious where that came from. Now, just as sort of a curiosity, they tell you what percent of your DNA you have in common with Neanderthals. 2.6% for me, a little bit less than the average European. They give you some, I mean, it's fun, the information about it, but look over on the right. They even sell t-shirts that you can put your Neanderthal percentage and that you're proud of it. Now, this is the research and survey section of the website, and I think this may actually be the most interesting part of this whole project, because with this, you can actually make a contribution to understanding of human genetics. There are surveys about all kinds of things. I've gone through and done a bunch already, and they can take the answers that you give here and combine that with what they know about your DNA and look for patterns. So all in all, it's a lot of information. It's a lot to take in. You learn so much about yourself all at once, things that you can't see that's going on inside every cell of your body that's making you what you are. It's kind of scary because it's so new, and because I sent in a sample of spit and they can tell me I'm at an increased risk for prostate cancer. It's a little bit frightening. So scary or not, this is the future. Biotechnology is going to remake the world in the next 20 years, just like technology has in the past 20 years. And if you're not quite ready to have your DNA tested yet, you can wait a little while longer, but not too much longer. It's coming.
Shopping is easy when you know what to